Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, and if you're on mobile, you can even hit that hype button, which apparently really helps out. I don't know if it does or not. But let's crack on with today's first story. Much love, guys. Now, today's first story is from a throwaway account from the True Off My Chest subreddit and says, "My fiance was tricked and lost our down payment and savings." My fiance was selling his old mountain bike online. Someone messaged my fiance with an offer, and this person said they would send my fiance the funds in advance and send their cousin to pick up the bike the next day. My fiance had promised me he would only accept pickup in person, with cash in hand. For context, and so this post makes sense, in Canada, the main way and safest transferring funds done is through your bank. It is tied to your bank account. You can only transfer what you have in your bank account, and even then, there is a daily limit. It is also tied to your identity since it's tied to your bank account. My fiance told the buyer he would accept a transfer. This is where the scam started. The buyer sent it, but he accidentally added an extra zero to the amount. My fiance told the buyer he would transfer it back since it was a mistake. He told my fiance he got locked out of his bank due to the mistake with the previous transfer, so my fiance should transfer it to his, the buyer's, cousin's account. My fiance did that. I have no idea why my fiance sent back the whole amount instead of the extra minus the payment for the bike. The buyer sent another transfer and the same thing happened. Then the buyer asked my fiance to use a different app that starts with a P, since he was still locked out of his bank account. He sent it to my fiance, but again, he added an extra zero to the amount and also doubled it. Again, my fiance sent back the funds. The buyer then asked if my fiance would take a check. They arranged for my fiance to meet the buyer's cousin in person and they would exchange the bike for the check. When my fiance got the check, it was higher than the agreed amount, but the cousin told my fiance it was a bonus for all his trouble. My fiance deposited the check and eventually used some of the funds, or attempted to. The funds from the first transfer was from a bank account that was stolen due to identity theft. That transfer was reversed. The funds from the transfer on the other app was from a stolen account as well, and the app reversed that transfer. The check was fake and was clawed back by the bank. This is all on top of the transfers that my fiance made to pay back the criminal. Our entire savings account is gone. What we had saved for a down payment, we were looking for a house, and now everything is gone. I didn't find out about any of this until after the fact. I get alerts anytime there is a transaction on our savings account, but my fiance deleted them. I do shift work, so I was asleep, and my fiance went into my phone and deleted the text because he didn't want me to find out he broke his promise about only accepting cash for the bike. I'm so angry. I'm not an angry guy in general, but I am furious about this. We have been dealing with the bank and with the other app. No success. We took the messages between my fiance and the buyer and the doorbell cam footage to different levels of the police. However, it didn't change anything. Our money is gone. We were hoping the bank could reverse the transfers my fiance made at least, but the transfers were made into a compromised account and that money was immediately moved. The bank also says my fiance voluntarily and willingly made the transfers. We have given the police report to the bank, but it's not likely to change anything. Also, because of the fake check, our savings account was closed. It had a zero balance, and so was my fiance's personal bank account. I use a different bank, so my personal bank account wasn't affected. The bank says my fiance has to take his banking somewhere else, and also that they will not provide mortgage services to us. Not that we will be buying a house now since our entire down payment is gone. I've warned my fiance that anyone who says they can recover the money is lying, and he must ignore them. I will also ignore anyone who says that they can do that. I'm devastated. I know it was just money, but I feel like I'm in a nightmare. I tried to be a calm and laid back guy, but that money was everything we had. We had to cancel with our wedding venue so we could get our deposit back, just so we could afford our rent for July. I'm so angry with my fiance. Not just about getting tricked, but because he lied to me. He broke his promise and he lied to me. More than the money, he broke my heart, and right now, I hate him. This is like a nightmare I can't wake up from. Thanks for listening. Ugh, that is absolutely devastating. Not the fact that he fell for the scam once, but he went through it multiple times in a row, and after that, snuck onto your phone and deleted those bank alerts to cover it up. That part, and I don't want to say it's the worst part because obviously losing that amount of money is absolutely devastating at the same time, but the fact that he did that as well, questions the relationship in itself. The scam itself, there was just like red flags everywhere on it, wasn't it? The accidental extra zero twice. It's almost the same as those core scammers that phone you up and then they change the web page to add an extra zero in, etc. But again, I just keep coming back to the lying after all this. He didn't just break the promise about cash only, he then went into your phone and deleted stuff while you was asleep. It's just all a bit calculated. But a commenter says to the OP, yeah, obviously no success. They literally warn you 10 plus times per app not to do this. They're not giving you anything. That money is long gone. Commenter says, I actually got to watch something similar in real time. The guy at the bank kept insisting he needed to transfer money to someone who was clearly scamming him. The teller went around and round with him that it was obviously a scam. He insisted it wasn't. He wanted the money. A supervisor came over and also went round and round. The guy eventually said he knew it might be a scam, but he wanted the money in case it wasn't. Finally, the supervisor told him they'd give him the money, but then they would close his account because he was willingly participating in fraud. He said that was fine. So they gave him a cashier's check for all the money in his account and closed his account. Sometimes you can't save people. 2 cents worth for you says, I was that teller. I tried to help a long-time customer who'd just gone through a divorce and had a huge chunk of change from the settlement. She got caught up in a romance scam. She never met Romeo in person but developed a relationship virtually. They were initially introduced by someone whom she met on a cruise. Romeo was military, so he couldn't have social media. The amount of lies and reasons she believed that she was fed was staggering. He needed her help to get his share of pay of $2.1 million out of Afghanistan. All she had to do was send $8,000 to a person. She made a Western Union transfer of the amount. I asked her if she knew this person. She said no. I told her that she's being scammed. I did a stop to the transfer and managed to recover that money for her. She took all the info I gave her and left for the day. She returned a couple of days later stating that she needed another $50,000 transfer because customs had this container quarantined. She showed me pictures of it that the customs officer sent her. I asked her to see the email address. Everything she showed me screamed of scammers. The email wasn't legit. She was getting so much pressure and guilt tripping from everyone too. I tried with everything I had to get her to see reason, but eventually we closed her accounts and she went elsewhere. I also wondered if she snapped out of it or if she got fleeced. And one more comment from Salt Operation who says, I'd be rethinking my entire relationship if my partner did something this foolish. I always find it incredibly sad the amount of people that must get scammed per day. I mean, they're getting worse as time goes on, especially with AI these days as well. And when my dad and my mum was about, I was always worried about them getting caught up in these kind of scams. Not because I think they're daft or anything, but they just didn't go on the internet very much. So when someone phones you, claims to be the bank and telling you that someone's hacked into your bank account, it's worrying. It makes you panic. Luckily, they didn't have to go through that, but, it was always a worry, and I can't imagine what people go through. Some of the stories I've seen, ones that you've just seen here as well. But anyway, in this one, 15 months later, OP comes in with her update and says, it's been a rough year, but I, male 32, wanted to post an update because so many people were helpful and supportive in what was a dark time. My fiance David, male 33, had promised me he would only take cash in person when selling his old mountain bike. I don't know why he accepted advance payments from someone he never met. I don't know why he kept taking electronic payments when there were so many problems. I don't know why he took a check instead of cash when he met the buyer in person. He lied to me about that. He also tried to hide it from me when the money started to be clawed back. He turned off the text alerts option from our bank when I was sleeping, so I didn't realize what was going on or that money was getting clawed back. Losing the money when we were in the middle of looking for a house was devastating. What was even more devastating was David lying and trying to hide this from me. Between his lying, acting like it wasn't a big deal, losing our down payment and having to cancel our wedding venue to get our deposit back so we could pay our rent, my relationship with David fell apart. I was so angry with him. I spent the last year dealing with the police, the bank, and the other app, and all of the wedding vendors we had to cancel on. The police say it is a common scam, and David wasn't the only victim they know about. It was hell. Even worse than all of that was David lying to me and doing this and not realizing he was being tricked out of our money. David and I had moved out of here a few years ago because the house prices were the lowest in the country. After we broke up, I heard David move back to his home province. I'm staying here. I have a life here, a good job, and I'm not exactly on the best of terms with my family. But having to start over from scratch after what David did was hard. The last year was a dark time. Not the worst in my life, but close. David tried to say I was victim blaming him because I was angry. He said he tried to hide what happened because he was ashamed, but he destroyed my trust in our relationship. Some days I still can't believe this happened. In short, my relationship with David is over. I had to find a new place to live. Our savings were lost and I'm starting over from scratch. I will be okay, but it was a hard year. Charles Zero says you weren't victim blaming, you were idiot blaming. Nikki McSpears says, this is such an old scam too, not even new or clever. Odd Instruction says, this sort of thing is why people should have separate account for day-to-day expenses, preferably in a different bank from savings accounts. But now, I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below, and let's move on to another story. Now, our next story comes from a throwaway account, and before we do get into it, there is a trigger warning on it of a suicide attempt within the story. So if you do want to skip the story, please feel free to do so. Timestamps are always down in the description and along the timeline below. Thank you. And it says, would I be the arsehole if I go low contact with my niece and take back her gifts? So yesterday, I went over to my sister's house to help her out with some things. I was there for a couple of hours and took a little nap for like 4 hours because I was tired. After I woke up, I went home and my husband was being a little off and seemed kind of upset or unhappy. I'm like, what's up? And he says, I'm being nice for someone who just texted what I did. I sent my kids upstairs and started asking what the hell was going on. He says I sent him divorce texts. I'm shocked because I never did that, which I let him know. I even showed him my phone, which did not show any such texts. He then shows me his messages under my name, and apparently I want a divorce. I was bamboozled because not only did I not think it, but I definitely did not text that. This affected him a little more because we had a fight the previous night, but we have a tradition of sorts, which is reassuring each other that we still love and care, but are just upset at the moment. I'm only adding this because I said something along those lines in the morning before I left, which I brought up when I was defending myself against the text I supposedly sent. He then says I'd done something similar previously. This is in reference to when I was pregnant, and he had some pseudo bipolar symptoms, which have since been mostly resolved. I've only done this once, and it wasn't even on the same level. I just kind of used to have terrible mood swings. Also, this was only during the pregnancy. I have no bipolar diagnosis or anything like that. That whole journey was kind of traumatic and is not a pleasant memory for me, which he is aware of. Anyway, after we bicker for a little bit, I decide to call my sister and explain what was happening. And then I'm like, hey, can you pull up your house footage from when I was there this morning? We're on FaceTime and we fast forward to when I went to sleep. The outlet in the room I was in wasn't working, so I had plugged my phone in the dining area to charge while I slept. We see my 16-year-old niece on my phone. She was on it off and on for like 2.5 hours, smiling and giggling. I'm upset, and her mum is upset. She calls her and asks if she touched my phone while I was there, and she lies and says no. She asks her again 2 more times if she touched my phone, and she says she didn't. The laptop is faced away from her, and I believe she didn't realize I was on the phone or that we both already saw what we did. It was after my sister started trying to send me the footage, which I had initially asked for, as she saw that her mum had already seen what happened. She started apologizing and saying it was supposed to be a prank and she didn't mean anything by it. She called out to me too with apologies while she was crying. My sister is one of those silent when angry types, so she wasn't saying anything. I did not even know what to say at all at this time because why would she even think this was a fun prank? Not to mention going into my phone without my permission. How she knows my password, I'm not sure because it's not simple or related to me. I had initially promised I would sponsor her 17th birthday, which is next month. She had previously also asked for a new PC, which I got, but it's supposed to be a surprise. I also happen to be her godmother. My question is, will I be overreacting if I take all these gifts back and keep a distance from her? Is it overkill? I feel maybe I'm punishing her for the way my husband reacted and brought up something traumatic for me. Also, maybe his response is justified because he thought the texts were from me, and then I was all smiley and sweet when I came back. I'm confused on how to proceed, but Reddit has previously helped figure stuff out before, so I decided to turn to them again. Sorry if this was too lengthy, and let me know if there's anything I have to clarify. Thanks. Irish Watcher says to this, the most important thing first is to make sure your husband knows what really happened and have your sister send him the video feed showing your niece on your phone. After you make sure he believes you, I would then go scorched earth with your niece. Actions have consequences and she needs to understand that now, and that is in no way any type of prank with most pranks. The person is there to see the outcome and say, haha, your niece would have had no idea what was going on, so how would she even know that the prank was successful or not? And obviously, I would change my passwords on everything, including banking apps. Opie says he was present when I asked for the footage, and he has seen it too. Opie adds in the same post an update and says thank you everyone for all the comments and advice. It's incredibly appreciated. All this happened yesterday. I only posted because I was slightly conflicted. To answer common questions in the comments, yes, I slept for hours at my sister's house. She's my sister, and we do stuff like that. I didn't say I was tired from what I helped with her. I was simply just tired. Both my sister and niece weren't aware of my husband and my fight from the previous night. Niece also was not aware of the full extent of my mental health struggles from the pregnancy. Niece wasn't texting for 2.5 hours straight. She was on and off the phone. I assume she got off it when she thought she would be caught. Apparently she has known my password for a while now. She learned it from looking over my shoulder at a family event from a couple of months back. Also, according to my sister, she has gone into my phone before, at least 3 times that she fessed up to. She has transferred money to herself, taken videos and pictures of it, gone through my texts with my kids and some other relatives, stolen other people's numbers, gotten passwords from my streaming services they didn't own, and gone through my other texts with my husband. And yes, there's very NSFW stuff in there. My husband is okay, we talked and he apologized for how he spoke to me. But I told him I totally understood why he would say what he said. I also apologized for my reaction. We are okay on our front and decided we were both justified given what we both individually knew. Back to the niece. The only other thing she did according to her was transfer more money. I checked my recently deleted texts and there was nothing suspicious there. But I don't know if you can delete texts from recently deleted. She also said that she thought the prank would be funny because there was no way my husband would believe all that stuff she texted because, according to her, he loves me too much and we have a perfect relationship. In the text, he had only replied that we would talk when I got home, and he wasn't going to have that conversation with me over text. This girl went all the way to add, I would send the papers in a couple of days and talk about the kids with lawyers. I can't explain how absolutely pissed I am. The plan is to go absolutely no contact with her after learning all of the other stuff she did. There'll be no birthday and no PC. Someone said to put up a post saying if anyone got a questionable text from me in the last 24 hours to let me know. I did that. No one had reached out yet, so I'm hoping it was just my husband. I'm getting my money back. I checked, and in total she has sent over $700 to herself that I wasn't aware of. She did not send it in bulk, just little bits here and there. I guess I did not catch on because I do send her money often, and I do have quite a bit in my account, so it wasn't obvious. Her mother will send the money to me from her daughter's savings later this weekend. I told her mother about the suggestions you guys gave on community service and therapy. I'm low-key scared for her future relationships and college life. She would not have any electronic devices for the rest of the summer. Personally, I do not want to lay eyes on her in the near future. Oh, and yes, she has done this before to one of her friends whom she is still friends with. I don't know why anyone would remain friends with someone like that. This hurts a lot because I love this child so much. I was more present than her father the first 11 years of her life. She used to come to me for her struggles and problems and all the teenage stuff. She had her first period at my house. Her cousins on her dad's side are jealous of our relationship, for goodness sake. She was my favorite one. I don't really care what her mum does about all this. I just want my money back and to never speak to her for now. In the future, I might be open to some contact. I blocked the number, so she sent me a long email which I haven't read yet, and her mum also brought a handwritten apology letter from her to my husband. My sister is aware of my decisions and has apologized for her daughter's behavior. My mum is also aware of the situation now. I have no doubt it is about to become an extended family problem. Anyway, that's that for now. I will update if anything else comes from this. Again, thanks to everyone that contributed with comments and DMs. Commenter quotes OP saying there will be no birthday and no PC, and then says, will there be police for all the different crimes? OP says we've decided not to go the legal route. I already got my money back with an additional $300. I've not really decided what to do about the snooping, pictures, videos and passwords for now. Dewcup says, not the arsehole. Please tell me you've changed all of your passwords. OP says we all have. Me, my husband, and kids. So OP posts sometime later and says, hey all, it's been a couple of days and I've gotten a bunch of messages about updates. Right now we're still going through resulting situations from all this. So I'll just give you what I have for now. I don't know if I'm adding this update right. If I am, good. If not, I'm sorry. And the first part of this is on my profile. First, I'll answer some common questions. A lot of people seem to be hung up on the 4-hour nap a lot. I'm a sleeper. I love to sleep. I sleep at her place all the time. It's not that deep, but it is probably why I'm in this predicament anyway. Another thing is the cameras. In this day and age, I think people should have cameras in their houses. Have them at my place too. I got them installed after I hired my first babysitter, and I figured out a lot of stuff from reviewing footages. It does not have to be in every room, just common areas. On to the actual update. My niece came over to formally apologize to my husband and me. She cried throughout the entire apology. She said she hadn't done it to anyone else, just me. I kept asking why, and she just kept repeating she was sorry. My husband thinks she probably thought I would be the one to forgive the easiest. I told her exactly why I was upset and how she had hurt me and my husband. I told her I'd be going no contact with her for the foreseeable future. I let her know I cancelled the birthday and any gift she would have gotten. The only thing she would get from me is her first college tuition, which I had promised a long time ago. I'm doing this more as a courtesy to my sister than anything else. I know it would help her a great deal. Niece will also not be allowed in my house for the foreseeable future. Her dad also reached out and apologized to us. We've decided not to go the legal route as a favor to my sister's family. They have a lot on their plate right now, and I would not want to make their life more complicated. During this conversation, she denied having a crush on my husband, as a lot of you guys suspected. I asked if she felt I wasn't being attentive enough to her, and she said no. Oh, and I found out she had texted 2 other people. It was nothing serious, but still. Some people were asking if she had mental issues. To my knowledge, she has none. She was tested when she was younger, and she had none. She kind of liked drama in elementary and middle school, but nothing worrisome. He told her she would be starting therapy, to which she said nothing was wrong with her. My husband then said people who are okay wouldn't do what she did. Her mother added that it was just to help her go about things in more normal ways. Also, the PC will be going to my brother's son, who will be going to college this fall. It will probably be more useful to him. My kids have since blocked her. She was made to get a new job. She previously worked for her uncle on her dad's side, but they thought it'd be better if she worked somewhere entirely different with no family relations. My mum has been upset with my husband and me. She said we're going too far, and that she was just a kid. One of my uncles and 2 of my aunts on her side have been harassing us with texts and calls. My sister and her husband are on our side though. Over a couple of days, the following conversation at my place. My mum has been updating us that my niece was depressed, cries every day, and keeps repeating that she did not mean it. Everyone hates her and is no longer speaking to her. That her second mum no longer loves or cares about her. She says they have taken away everything from her. OP then adds the trigger warning of self-harm and says, on the 12th, my niece attempted to take her life. Her older sister found her. She left a note apologizing for all the hurt she caused and said we would all be better without her. She wrote that she'd be better off gone than have to live her life knowing that I hate her and that my kids do not want to be close to her anymore. She wrote a lengthy letter actually, but I can't fit it all in here. She currently is still in the PEDS ICU and she has done some extensive damage to herself. I've been to the hospital every day since I found out. My husband says maybe we went too far. My mother says she will curse me and never speak to my family if I do not make things go back to the way they were. My children think it is their fault and are willing to apologize for blocking and cutting her off. I'm more conflicted than I was a week ago. It's like everyone is looking to me to fix it all. I don't really know what to do right now. My sister keeps saying I don't have to do anything, but she's been bawling. My niece's other siblings have all texted me variations of, "I know she hurt you, but forgive and forget because she almost died." My extended family has been a lot too. You're a grown woman waging war on a 16-year-old. You are evil and don't deserve good things. I hope your life ends up like what you're giving niece. I've gotten messages from strangers too because my sister's mother-in-law posted on Facebook that I was a bitter woman hurting her granddaughter and a bunch of other things. So the past 3 days have been mentally miserable for me. Not to take away from what my sister's family is going through, but I'm sad, heartbroken, confused and just tired. Please send prayers my sister's way. I'm not sure how all this is going to end, but I'll let everyone know when she's out of the ICU and whatever else happens. Thank you all for your advice and supportive words. I appreciate you all. And OP does update again and says, "First, I want to give the biggest shout out to my sister, niece's mum. She can't see this, but I just want those words out there. I've said them to her too, but I want you guys to hear it too. She's not only been my biggest defender against all the flying monkeys despite what she is going through, but she has also been so good to me. She stood up for me to my mother and relatives. She also counter-posted on Facebook after all that stuff from her own mother-in-law. Secondly, I want to address those asking how my niece did it and how she was found. She ingested something harmful. We're not exactly sure what it was, but it was a mixture of cleaning supplies. Her older sister found her on the bathroom floor. She was extubated on the 16th after she got a whole bowel irrigation and one-time hemodialysis because she had given herself an acute kidney injury. She was intubated for 26 hours. She is now out of the ICU and is now on the PEDS MedSurg unit. The same evening she left the ICU, she had to be put on a 72-hour psych hold and will be transferred into an inpatient psych facility when she is medically cleared. She did get a psych evaluation and so far she has been diagnosed with ADHD, depression, and histrionic personality disorder. The psychiatrist says she might also have borderline personality disorder, but that would be determined better at the psych facility. I'm still low contact with my niece. I've only had one phone call with her, in which I told her I loved her and were getting her help. The therapist said to reinsert my presence in her life, but make no promises like, "If you get help, we'll be okay," or something like that. She says since I've previously been a positive presence, it might help to have me in the background while she heals. She gave suggestions for my background presence, like letters, phone calls, or visits if I feel like it. I'm not going to give her any gifts or rewards. I haven't decided which one to go with yet. I might just send a letter monthly. My sister did look through my niece's phone and found no NSFW pictures of me or my husband, but she did delete the streaming apps my niece got access to. I know some people were worried about her taking those photos. I knew she saw them though. My children are in therapy, both individual and family. My husband and I finally explained the entire thing in detail to them, including my struggles during my first pregnancy and how niece's prank was a trigger. The therapist helped us facilitate the whole thing better. Niece's other siblings are in therapy now too. The oldest has since apologized for her texts and harsh voicemails. We have also sent the kids to my in-laws for the next 3 weeks. Therapy will be online. I also blocked my mother on their phones. They are to speak to none of my relatives for now. My mother doubled down and started coming at my children via texts and calls. That's one of the reasons we sent them away. My brother-in-law, niece's dad, broke down while she was still comatose and did a full 180. He left me a long voicemail saying I was hurting his baby girl and ripping her away from him. I did not like him when he first started dating my sister. He says I was using my niece to break him because I hated him. If something happens to her, he won't forgive me. This is the complete opposite of his stance before. I don't know if his grief or his mum in tears is now at odds with his wife because she agrees with keeping the consequences we all agreed on, but the husband says to relent. My family and my other sisters are trying to be her, niece's mum's support in every way that we can. I've had to completely cut my mother off from my family, including some of my aunts and uncles. My dad is divorced from my mother and lives on the other side of the country. He's on my side with this whole thing. I have 2 brothers and they're both on my mum's side, but all my sisters are on my side. My mother sent me a very devastating text that I'll just copy and paste here because I don't even know if I can explain it. Aria, you are the most disgraceful child I've ever birthed. I curse you the day you were put in my arms. Your life will never be peace as long as you never give peace to Cece. You're so vile, and you will go to hell for causing this amount of harm to your sister's family. You're no daughter of mine, and I do not claim you. Do not call me your mother. Keep your unclean children away from me too. If you come close to me, I'll strangle you and feed you toilet cleaners. How niece attempted. And OP says, what kind of mother sends this to her child? I took a screenshot, blocked that number, and printed off a copy of the text. This devil incarnate of a woman proceeded to email me 2 days after to tell me to send my share of money for remodeling her house. Yeah, like a cursed child would do that. I simply blocked her email too. I didn't even know why she called my children unclean. Had them all post-marriage and with one man. This had been the longest month of my life, and it isn't even over yet. I had a panic attack the other day because of everything. This darling man that I am now married to has been my biggest rock and support. I genuinely do not know what I would do without him. How I'd repay him for all of this. I do not know. I spend most days just crying. My mental health is suffering, my work is suffering, and I'm just tired. I know this was super long, so if you read all of this, thank you. Thank you for sticking with me and holding me up with your words and virtual presence. You'll probably see this often, but I genuinely want to thank each and every one of you. I can't wait for this all to be over so I can get some normalcy back and be able to breathe well again. One absolute wild situation. And I still think that OP's consequences were completely reasonable in this. Taking back gifts and going no contact after someone was stealing from you, violating your privacy repeatedly and nearly destroying your marriage at the same time. OP was still willing to pay their college tuition. But taking a step back after that, is totally reasonable. But of course, it's going to be devastating what Niece went through. Again, there's no excuses for her behavior, but it was clear she had serious issues, and the diagnoses that she had sort of confirmed that. But then there was the family enabling in this as well. The grandmother literally threatening OP to feed her toilet cleaner and cursing her own daughter. That was like absolute vile. I do hope that one day that they're able to build some kind of relationship. I can't imagine it would ever be the same again, but something, And the therapist, it sounded, gave quite solid advice about with the background presence and no promises, no rewards, etc. Because the niece needs that professional help and, not just removing all those boundaries. But I think for OP's sake, cutting off anyone that's given her shit over this is absolutely the right thing to do. I think OP needs to protect themselves because I think, as I said, I believe that those consequences were absolutely reasonable given the situation at that moment in time. And good on the sister for backing her up in that moment. But I really do wish both OP and Niece healing going forward and Niece doing that work in treatment and hope that their family finds peace. Because it sounds like an absolute nightmare at this moment in time. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories, your love, your support, your time. It always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.